Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dot to Dot. Well, today I'm going to look at the 5 documents that are basically the key, at least in the opinion of Olivier from Oak Island Research and myself, are key to the solution to the mystery on Oak Island. So, and I'm also going to give a synopsis of the last videos that I've done with the Rochefoucauld Grail. But these are the 5 documents that I'm speaking of. And the first 3 come from a person named Dr. William D. Jackson. And he was the one that hid the documents of La Formula and the Rochefoucauld map, or what is commonly called the Xena map. And these documents are also accompanied by what is called the Antiara schematic, which shows the tunnel system, and is also, this middle piece is the same shape as La Formula, which is right here. Now, going with La Formula, we have the same cipher, which is on the 90-foot stone, by the way, that was given by a man named Philip Stevenson, who was on the Curse of Oak Island show. And this document has the information the same. It's coded and it's French. And when it's decoded, it gives basically the same numbers as La Formula, except for 2 things, which is the solar azimuth heading, which is 145, and the north datum adjustment, which is minus 21 degrees. And another thing that this document shows is it basically says Cruzier, which is dig 40 peed, which is 40 feet. And this is also mentioned in La Formula. So there's the similarity between the information between La Formula and the Stevenson document is identical, almost. Now the Antiara schematic shows this is a trap door. This is a hole under the trap door. This is a valve. This is the vault. And it also shows basically where you enter into this tunnel. It's not connected here, but you have to dig down to get it. That's what's assumed here. And also we have a place which is in the middle between where you enter in and the vault, which we call La Hamp, which means the shaft or pole. So all this information is basically shown on this map. Here's the hole under the trapdoor. Here's the valve. And here's where you enter in the oak, enter here. And here's the vault, and it shows the vault. So they all correspond. Now, the geometry that is encoded into the Rochefoucauld map, we've seen, is basically the same geometry that came out of this, which is from the Rochefoucauld Grail. So we have the same geometry coming out of this map and encoded into this miniature picture here. And they're both, this picture used to belong to the Rochefoucauld family. So we have a historical connection here. We have a geometrical connection with these 2. And over here, we have a cipher connection with these 2, plus all the numbers are the same from one document to the other. And here on these 2 documents, we have basically a pictorial of what is presented on this map right here. So it's hard for me to look away from all this information that spans not only different people, the origins of different people, but different time periods. The Robert Johnston Stevenson, Phil Stevenson note is dated to the 1800s, late 1800s. So, when we look at the Grail geometry, and let's put up the Grail image because we didn't finish that, is what came out of this geometry, which was basically uh, noticed by a man named Gary from England who goes by the name Gosbo, and Olivier from Oak Island Research. So this is the lined geometry here that came from them. And if we, put the geometry here, we notice, there's lines that come from the shoes. So you're saying, okay, we have this geometry here. How do we know what is relevant and what isn't? There's a lot of lines intersecting. Well, I've shown in my past video that the gaze vectors from the eyes and the hand vectors basically give us the information of which vectors, which intersections are relevant and which are not. And we have intersection points. The other thing that was very relevant to this was the checkerboard pattern here, which gave us degrees. And these are also denoted by the feet. They are broken into portions by the feet. They give us 20, 60, and 40, which are related to the degrees. And this is shown here. You can see this angle here of this foot is right at the end of the 20 degrees of blocks. And this is a 20-degree angle. So we have a clue here. The same thing with the king's foot here, where it starts at the 40 degrees. The angle of this foot is 440 degrees. So we're given a lot of clues here of what is relevant and what isn't. So the thing is what is the final outcome of these vectors? And the final outcome is this. And these vectors are basically the same thing that comes out of the Rochefoucauld map. And they are these same points that are basically given through the Rochefoucauld map. And if we put in the landing, which is what comes out of the Rochefoucauld map, is this. And if you remember, if you watch my previous videos, one of the main things, this 20-degree angle, is the angle that goes to the Frog Island point. And we also are utilizing the 1347. Let me just put that map up here really quick. We'll put up the Rochefoucauld map. And if you notice, this is basically the 45-degree angle is here, where it is mentioned, decoded from the Rochefoucauld map. The fact that this gaze line crosses this center with Nolan's cross at 105 degrees is completely not by accident, and it is not coincidental. Also, the 1347 is clearly demonstrated here with this 20-degree angle. We know that when you go from this point, which was on the Rochefoucauld Grail, this is also determined and decoded through the Rochefoucauld map, Xena's map, that these distances are equal. From here, this is the 40-degree angle, and from here to here, which is the 20-degree angle. Now, this isn't in the Rochefoucauld Grail, but this is in the Xena map, is the center point, which is L'Hamp, is also 1347 pi. So these similarities are, to me, beyond coincidence. They are encoded into both the Rochefoucauld Grail and the Xena Map. So where do these things lay on Oak Island? Well, let me take this off here. And where they lay on Oak Island is the Oak entrance. This is where you enter, or this is basically the Oak. It's not really where you enter, but you're going to enter somewhere on this 45 here. And I can get into that later, but it is really you enter where the 522 peed from La Hampe, which is right here. So you'll enter 522 peed from that, which is 560 feet. And this is where the Oak was supposed to be. And this, you can see where it is in relationship to the money pit, and where they're digging, which here's the garden shaft would be right here. And so you can see that it's pretty far away. It's about 75 feet to 80 feet away from that area, and it's to the south. I'll orient this north-south here. So that's this. And the other thing that came out of the Rochefoucauld Grail is this line that goes from through Cone B to La Hampe. And this is actually the shortest way to find from a landmark on the island, is 90 degrees from the cross member of Nolan's Cross to La Hampe, and it is a 90-degree angle. That was a very interesting revelation from the Rochefoucauld Grail picture. So this is where you would find the set point. Now, there was another thing that came out of the Rochefoucauld Grail, which was a hidden entrance. It was very small, and this is right here where you head underground. This may be where another entrance where you enter on the west side to divert the flood waters that will lower the vault. And this is determined through the Xena map, through recognizing a parallelogram from cone E to triangle 2 to the hole under the trap door. I can put that up for you. Let's see. It's been on my previous videos, but let's see, the west side, and there's the west parallelogram. And notice it's the same type of a parallelogram, or it's a parallelogram, just like the Nolan's Cross when you extend it out to the north anchor, which is also 1,347 pied. And this is where you get the information to find the location right here. So there's several things that are going on with all these documents. They all conform. Not just the documents conform, but also the geometry conforms to the landmarks that are already on Oak Island, which is the 1937 survey, which does the drilled rocks and the stone triangle, and also Nolan's stone piles, which are up there. And I can put those on for you. There's a lot of lines here, so it gets pretty crowded to understand where all this is coming from. But Nolan's stone piles is from Fred Nolan's survey, and that basically gives us these points here. This would be the south anchor here. And also the 1937 survey, which gives the basically the position of where to enter the vault, the 522 entrance, and that is basically that information that is already on the island. So out of these 5 documents, we have 5 of them now. It's hard for me to dismiss the fact that the information that is coming from these documents is not relevant, because the ability to be able to get the geometry and then to have it backed up by textual writing and also a diagram here giving the same information, it's hard for me to believe that this was all just a hoax or something made up. So anyway, that was, you wanted to see where this is going on Oak Island. This is basically where it's going. And this is the geometry that comes out of both the Rochefoucauld Grail and the Rochefoucauld map that was found by Dr. Bill Jackson, that we call the Xena map. So this is it. This is what I have for you today. Thank you. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.